Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 986. Good morning. Look at this. I got a little zit or pimple on my nose. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Good morning. Midwest Premiere was this past weekend. There were highs, there were lows. The Midwest Premiere. The lows were not as low as the Chicago Bears. The highs were not as high. Actually, no, the highs were higher than the Cubs sweeping the Rockies this weekend. We had some good and bad with Chicago sports. Cubs sweeping the Rockies, much needed, as they go into a couple of road trips or a road trip to Atlanta and Milwaukee this week. So Braves and Brewers, tough way to finish the season. But hey, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to beat playoff teams, right? So the Cubs have a day off today, and then they start their series with the Braves tomorrow. Bears, on the other hand, remember 3 weeks ago on this very program, I said the Chicago Bears are going to win the NFC North. They're going to win 11 games and a playoff game. I said that. Those words came out of my mouth. Let me follow that up with, I don't know shit about football. Duh. I don't know shit about football. The Bears suck, man. Like, not just suck, like, historically suck. Like, just a giant sucking suck. The Bears will probably get the number 1 overall pick again. I mean, I guess that's what I got to root for. If you're going to lose, you might as well be the best at losing and get that number 1 pick. But I don't want them to draft a quarterback. That's the thing. I think I want them to get the number 1 overall pick and trade out of it and get more pick because they need. I mean, I don't know. They spent money and signed free agents. That's why I thought they would win 11 games this year. They got help in the defense. They got linebackers. They got defensive linemen, offensive linemen. Half of them are hurt. The other half suck. Justin Fields is a bad quarterback. I 2 weeks ago, even after the Packers game, I'm like, you know what? Justin Fields, he's just, the rest of the team kind of sucks. It's not all on Justin. And it's not on Justin. Like, he's not a scapegoat for how bad this team is. This team is just bad everywhere. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. Actually, let me take that back. Justin Fields is a good quarterback, just not as an NFL starter. At one point, I thought he could be an MVP type player. Again, I don't know shit about football. He could be. He could be an MVP caliber quarterback in Canada or in the XFL. He ain't sniffing no MVP trophy in the NFL. He's not good. That doesn't mean he's the reason the Bears suck. No, everybody sucks. Top down. God, the Bears suck. The Bears are so bad. The Bears suck so bad that the Broncos gave up 70. The Broncos gave up 70 points. They're an NFL team. They gave up 70 points yesterday. And the Bears are still the laughing stock of the NFL. That's how bad the Bears are. By the way, put your Tua Tagovailoas on eBay. I think I sold every single Tua card out of my eBay store. That's what happens when you score 70 points. When your offense scores 70 points. Justin Fields cards, on the other hand, they're just sitting. They're just sitting in my eBay store. So the Bears still suck. The Bears are awful. The Bears are awful. we did find out a little more to the Alan Williams saga, the defensive coordinator who suddenly resigned amid like crazy ass rumors all over the internet. They came out, and I think Adam Schefter reported yesterday that the reason he suddenly resigned. Apparently, it was a forced resignation. There was inappropriate conduct or inappropriate behavior or something. HR was involved. You can speculate. I'm not going to, but in my mind, I am. And there's a few things that come to mind when that's brought up and what could be going on. So there was more to the story with that whole issue, and it wasn't. Well, I'm sure there was. It probably did have implications on his health and family. As an indirect way. The Bears. Let's stop talking about the Bears, can we? Let's stop talking about the Bears. Let's talk about the card show this weekend. We'll get to the card show. We'll get to the chat. Speaking of card shows, Madison this weekend, Saturday, sold out show, 125 dealer tables, free admission, 9 to 3. Doors are open a little early, so if you want to come wander in a little early, I know a lot of people make long drives, so if you want to make it a little early, I'm going to get into that because I'm going to go on a little rant about dealers packing up a little early. And not a rant, it's probably going to turn into a rant, but I don't mind when dealers leave early in some circumstances. And I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but we're in that time of year, like summer and fall is dealers pack up early. And it's probably, I think our forecast looks pretty good for this coming Saturday. So it's probably going to be the last nice weekend until May. So if you're traveling from like 3 hours, like that's the thing. Like you could be missing out on sales if a dealer packs up at 1 o'clock, the show runs until 3 or 4. You could be missing out on some sales. I understand not as many sales occur from 1 to 3 as opposed from the first 2 hours of the show. But on the other hand, if you're not showing up until 9 o'clock to set up, you're missing out on those early bird sales. Because I have people at the Madison Card Show walking the floor as early as 7:30. And I encourage it. I encourage dealers to like, hey, by the way, people are walking the floor at 7:30, so you could be missing out on money if you stroll in. So I want to get into a little bit more of that. But that's this Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, free admission, 9 to 3. Come a little early, 125 dealer tables. Where are we at? Steel Cards, good morning. Happy Monday. Steve's in the house. What's up? Happy Monday. Much happier after flying the W. George, what's up? Good evening to you. Carlo does vintage. Good morning. Sunday card show buy for Carlo. Tom Brady, 18 base, 12 inserts. 4 Mahoney. I'm guessing Mahomes, maybe? Inserts. An Elvin Bethea auto card and a Jackson Churios auto. 6 of 6, $80 for all. Was this a double or a home run of a buy? Let's see. Let me do the math here. 18 base. So 30 Brady cards, 4 Mahomes inserts, Elvin Bethea auto card, and a Jackson Churios auto. I'd say that's a pretty good buy. I'd say that's a double or a home run. I don't know. See, I don't know. It depends on the auto. Depends on what base. If it's just like Don Russ, those are in my quarter box. So it all depends on what exactly they are. And I don't know anything about the Elvin Bethea market. But that sounds to me like a good buy. Is it a double or a home run? I don't know. But it sounds to me like a really good buy. David, good morning. And Carlo, yes, explain. Mahoney equals Mahomes. Victor, what's that? I got to see Victor this weekend. What's up, Victor? I got to see James this weekend. Lots of good buys, so many deals. Now, if you were a seller at the show, it was kind of tough at the Midwest premiere this past weekend. If you were a buyer, that right there behind me is just a small sampling of what I brought home. I packed my car. I bought a lot. I bought more than I wanted. which I'm going to get into. And as I was going through, so James, while you're here, the last deal or one of the last deals I made on Sunday, a guy came over to me and he's like, "Hey, I've got a bunch of sports cards. I'm transitioning to Pokemon. They were my 50-cent and dollar boxes. I'll sell it all." I looked through and I just kind of, blah, 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 blah. I didn't look through card by card. I just kind of, I'm like, it's a lot of stuff. There was a lot of basketball and soccer, which I just automatically, I'll pull the LeBrons for my guy who's a buyer of LeBrons, and the rest goes into a quarter box. Same with soccer. Actually, soccer, I don't even look. All soccer, quarter box. So I'm like, there's just too much basketball and soccer. I'm a baseball guy. And so I'm like, I'm gonna pass. And I start walking away. And he's like, "Well, can you give me an offer?" And you know how I don't like that. I'm like, "No, I'm just not interested." And he's like, "How about $100 for all of it?" So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a good price. Again, kind of like what I just told Carlo. Is it a double or a home run? I don't know. I'm not going to know until I go through like every card to realize. It's starting off to be a pretty good start. I went through one 5-row box as I was watching that miserable football game yesterday. And so I went back and looked through, and I counted about 8,000 to 10,000 cards. So it's about a penny a card, right? And like, okay, deal, do it. I was going through a box, and there were 2 Jackson Chourio first Bowman papers and an Elly De La Cruz first Bowman paper that were just in the randomly in there. And so I think for $100 I got 2 5-row boxes, 2 4-row boxes, and I think 3 or 4 shoe boxes, like 2 3-row shoe boxes. So, and that was what I was going through last night, were the Chourio and 2 Chourios and an Elly first Bowmans. Those were in like the junk box, like the 50-cent box. So that was a pleasant surprise. And there was a bunch of first Bowman paper. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff's just going to go into my quarter box. I set aside, I pulled like $11 or $12 worth of Mahomes, LeBron, Acuna that I sell to my guy. So that was like $11-12 right off the bat. That's going to be cash this Saturday. Elly and Chourio, those will go on eBay. And then I'm going to have brand new quarter boxes for this Saturday. So if I can get them made up in time. So that's always good. Lots of good buys. Christian in the house. What's up? Good morning. Who wants Honolulu blue Kool-Aid and cornbread? There you go. He's a Lions fan. Dan, what's happening? Good evening. Cooter's in the house, listening from I-35, northbound. I was going to start singing, but it's eastbound and down. In truck, eastbound and down. Matty Ice in the house. What's up? Good morning. George says, just got a gallon of local apple juice in the fermenter. Should have a nice hard cider to sip in a few weeks. That sounds good. Hey, speaking of, this has nothing to do with apple cider. But when you said local, it reminded me. I was going to mention this the other day and I forgot. So my wife was talking with, she went to a funeral, a college friend, husband passed away. And so the college girls got together. They were at dinner or whatever. And apparently, like, the older you get, this is like an old people. The older you get, you like suffer from allergies. And I have terrible allergies. And apparently, and so 2 of her friends like swear by this. One's a nurse. She knows her shit. If you, I think it's like, consume a tablespoon of local honey every day, it like wipes away your allergies. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then I started thinking about, that makes a lot of sense. Local, pollen, bees, honey, local pollen, boom. Like, wow, I never thought of that. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to go find some local honey. I love honey. Honey's delicious. You're telling me instead of popping a pill, I can consume a tablespoon of delicious honey and it helps my allergies? Game on. Hell, I can put it in my coffee, right? Fuck yeah. I'm down. I'm down with local honey. Let's do it. That sounds dirty. Local honey. Speaking of local honey and dirty, this story was told. I don't know. This could be one of those like old tall tales, and it could have been exaggerated through the years. But back in this would have been my grandparents. This would have been, the 1930s, let's call it. Maybe the roaring 20s, although I think they were teenager. Well, let's do the math here. Yeah, I don't think it would have been the 20s. It probably would have been the 30s, early 30s. Between Anawan and Kewaunee on Route 78, there was I think it's long been torn down. But when I was growing up as a kid, it was still there. It was like this shack, like probably built in the early 1900s, 1800s, maybe, just this shack falling down. It looked really cool, especially this time of year. We're getting into like Halloween season. Looked really cool. Like, oh, that scary shack, because it's like hidden in the woods, just off the highway. Pretty cool. So when I got to be like of an age that my mom would share this story, we're going to that's where you go to the Walmart in Kewaunee. They've got the stoplights, the McDonald's, and the Walmart. So we're driving down Route 78, and my mom shares the story. In the 1930s, a young grandma and grandpa were driving to Kewaunee. This was pre-Walmart. I don't know what they were doing in Kewaunee, going to the Mercantile. I don't know what the hell they were. The blacksmith shop. Who knows? Probably cruising along in their Model T. And there was a sign. This shack apparently sold local honey. But it wasn't honey from the bees. It was ba-ba-ba-boom honey. So they stopped. They wanted to get some honey. If you would have known, my grandma was pretty, this is on my mom's side. My dad's side, like rebels. My mom's side, straight-laced, church-going, band playing. Not there's anything wrong with that. You know, like marching band, bookworms, just a tale of two families, right? So this is this side of the family. A little on the nerdy side. That's where I get the nerdy side from. I have a basement full of baseball cards. Who am I to judge, right? They stop. Grandpa gets out. Also, I was my middle name, Spencer, after my grandfather. Grandpa Spencer gets out of the car. I never met him. He passed away when my mom was young. I think my mom was in high school when he passed away. So Grandpa Spencer gets out. He's thinking, hey, they're going to have some honey. Grandpa could have had some honey. Grandma wouldn't have liked that. Found out it was not the honey to consume. Well, needless to say, Grandpa did not buy any honey that day, and Grandma was appalled that they would be selling honey for sale. James says Justin Fields was a good quarterback in college. He's still a good quarterback, just not in the NFL. Max says he isn't being used correctly. He's not, but he's also not a good quarterback. The two are not mutually exclusive, and I had this debate in my Cubs chat yesterday because most of us are Cubs fans, and it's like, Justin Fields is not a good NFL starting quarterback. The rest of the team sucks on offense and defense. I understand he's not giving up 41 points, but at the same time, he also didn't score a point. Did they score? Did they get I think they got a field goal. Oh, there was a touchdown. He did throw a touchdown pass, I think, to DJ Moore at the end of the game. It was 41-10? I don't know. I stopped paying attention. He isn't being used correctly. I agree with that. But it doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback or not a bad quarterback. Like, he isn't being used correctly. Even if he was being used correctly, not a good quarterback. In the NFL, Good quarterback in college? Yes. Good quarterback in Canada? Yes. XFL? Sure. NFL? No. No. Jenny, what's up? Don't the Bears and Broncos play each other next week? That will be good. For a laugh. Do they play next week? God, I don't even want to look that far ahead. Let's see. Oh, come on. NFL week 4, Broncos and Bears at noon. The Packers play at night, so that's going to probably be on my TV. Sunday. Do I have anything going? No. So I'm going to sit through that shit show. That'll tell you Broncos and Bears next Sunday. That's going to tell you who is the worst of the worst. Although the Panthers are up there, we're only 3 weeks into the season. So, I mean, the Bears were not the worst team in the NFL. The Texans were, in my opinion, again, remember, I don't know shit about football. The Texans, in my opinion, were the worst team in the NFL last year. But it just, like, the Bears somehow, thanks, Lovey. Texans win in that last week of the season. The Bears all of a sudden come out of nowhere and get the number 1 overall pick. Red Light 34, what's happening? Good morning to you. He says hit the like button. Thank you, sir. And Denver is favored by 2.5 at Chicago. That's not surprising. That's not surprising. Denver gave up 70 points yesterday to the Miami Dolphins. And yet the Bears will score 10. I don't think they'll score more than 10 points. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't score a fucking touchdown. They might score 9 points or 12 on 4 field goals. Well, actually, no, I don't think so. I don't think they can get into field goal range 4 times. That's how bad the Bears are. Can they even get into field goal range 4 times in a game? I don't think so. I'd take minus 2.5. I was talking to some of my former coworkers who were Packers dorks, had to text me yesterday. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy about the Cubs win. And I've just, you know what? I used to be like stubborn and be like, no, the Bears suck. Like, yeah, I'm wrong. Like, Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. The Bears suck. Just deal with it. I've just got to call a spade at this point. But I said how in the hell were the Bears only 12-point underdogs? And I guess, and I don't do much betting anymore. And I never really did on the NFL, mostly basketball, college basketball. I did a lot of college, especially March Madness. And they're like, well, 12's a ton of points in the NFL. I'm like, I would have taken, if I had an account open, I'd be like, throw it all on the Chiefs minus 12.5. Throw your money, Denver minus 2.5. You heard it from me and probably everybody else. That line's probably going to go up. It'll probably be 6 by the time that kickoff rolls around. Johnny M says, good morning. It's not much better being a Jets fan. No, it's about the same. It's worse being a Bears fan because not only do we suck on the field, we suck off the field, and we have the shenanigans going on. So, and the Jets aren't as bad as the Bears. Like, there's not many teams that are as bad as the Chicago Bears. I can't believe that I'm saying 3 weeks ago, I'm like, yeah, they're a playoff team, 11 wins, they're going to win the division. Now I'm like, they're going to get the number 1 overall pick. They're that bad. John, what's happening? Harlan's in the house. Good morning. Max says, I was wrong about the Vikings, though. They are terrible. If their fans hadn't overtaken Bears as the worst to deal with in Wisconsin, I would actually feel bad for them. Yeah, I think they're 0-3. But they're just like bad. They're not really bad. They're just bad. They're just a bad team. James says card shows should start at 8 a.m., not 10 a.m. But that's tough. That's tough. And I understand. And here's so the Midwest premiere started at 10 a.m. on Saturday, which I think is great for that show. Why? It's a 2-day show and you can't load in on Friday. So you have to have, when you have 200 tables and more than 100 different dealers, you can't start at 8 a.m. It's just not feasible. So 10 o'clock is a good start time for that show. I think if it's just a regular show, I think 9 a.m. is the perfect time. 8 a.m. still too early to actually have everybody set up, because I've got dealers driving in 3 hours away. And if I'm like, start setting up at 6 or 6:30, like, they got to leave at 3 a.m. So I think 9 a.m. is like the perfect start time for a card show. Kyle says, good morning. What's up? Looks like you got some good buys. Not good. Great. Better than great. What's a word better than great? I got some amazing deals this weekend. Max says, amen. And more on Sunday, not Saturday. There is starting to get to be more Sunday show. Well, there's been a few more Sunday shows pop up. Like Janesville is a Sunday show, so that's good. I know, Max, you're up further north, and I know all the shows up there are Saturdays, but down around here, we're starting to have more Sunday shows, which is good. I think Milwaukee has a Sunday show, or maybe it's Racine. I think it's Racine has a Sunday show. Janesville is a Sunday show. Schaumburg is a Sunday show. So there's more. Like if you're in southern Wisconsin and in the northern suburbs, you've got some options. Andy Mack says, good morning. West Aurora is 5-0, playoff eligible. Go Cubs. Love it. My alma mater, Anawan Wethersfield, won. I think they're 4-1. They had one lost by a point earlier in the season. I think week 2. I think they won like 35-0 on Friday night. And they have my hometown's homecoming is this coming weekend. They play the Ducks of Havana. Havana Ducks. Sports card ripping teacher, go Cubs, go. We stuck around for a beer and a burger yesterday and say the team buses saw the team buses headed to the airport. Ross and Nico were sitting at the head of each bus. They looked ready. Very cool. Very cool. Bus 1, bus 2. I wonder who was in the back playing cards. Where are we at? Dan says to George, care to come down here in December and bring some of that cider? Mark Marinello, what's up? Good morning. He's got his Devils logo going already. Can't wait until hockey starts. Randy, the bargain boxer, says the greatest show on turf. Good morning, and don't go. Redskins offensive line. Uncle Rich is in the house. Can't stay long, so I will not hear Bo giving the spiel. Uncle Rich. Today is Yom Kippur, the Jewish Day of Atonement. We did not atone last night. I came home. I had, although I did fast, kind of fasted. I had a late lunch. Actually, this annoyed me. Just a minor annoyance. So I love the Midwest Premier's location at the Indoor Sports Center. They've got Fozzie's Skybox, the restaurant bar upstairs. It's a Sunday afternoon. I started tearing down. I was like tore down by 2. And I was just going to hit the drive-thru for a late lunch. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, there's a game on. I'll go upstairs, have a beer and a burger. And so I told Mike, one of the promoters, I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to go upstairs and have a... He's like, I think I might break away. I'll join you. So I finished loading and pulled around to the parking lot, came in, and one of the servers was like walking out. And Mike looked at me. He's like, are they closing? And I'm like, can't imagine they would be closing. It's 2:00. There's still a bunch of people in here. Sunday NFL, right? So I go upstairs and they're like putting chairs upside. I'm like, are you guys closing? They're like, well, do you want a drink or food? And I'm like, both. I'm like, oh, well, we can do drinks, but no food. I'm like, okay, I'll hit McDonald's. So I hit McDonald's on the way home. It's like, I was looking forward to it. Usually I don't do, like, I didn't do that the last 2 shows at the Indoor Sports Center. I just hit the road. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I had a good buying weekend. I'll have a beer. I'll have a burger. So I hit McDonald's, 3:00. And then I get home and I came down. I did some shipping. I've got well over 300 items to ship, being gone a couple days. And went upstairs about 6:30, told my wife, I'm like, I'm not hungry. I ate a late lunch. I don't know. Might have some. So I looked through. I'm like, So I came down. I didn't eat. Shipped some more. And went upstairs like, I don't know, 7:30. And I had some popcorn, microwave popcorn. That's all I ate. So I've kind of fasted. I guess it was after sundown, though, when I ate the popcorn. But I haven't eaten since. But I'm not fasting. Just didn't eat. So, where we at? Brian says, good morning. Sorry about dem Bears. Apparently it wasn't Nagy. It was all of the above. I mean, Nagy was certainly a problem, but so was everything else. It's top down, man. It's ownership. It's general management, coaching, offense, defense, special teams, just everything. Just blow it up. Card show should start at 10 instead of 8, says the bargain boxer. There you go. There you go. Uncle Rich says, oh, by the way, today is Yom Kippur, the day of the done fast, and you can have a break the fast with your wife and mother-in-law, etc. Let's see. George says I might be able to get a trip in during that time. Just depends on finances and how busy work is during that period. There you go. Local honey was included in the coffee thing Phil Mickelson was pushing. I did it for a while. Took me like 5 minutes to make it. Really? Is it because it just doesn't mix in well? Maybe I'll just take a spoonful of sugar, because my wife's like, she likes to like cook and make recipes and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll just eat it. Like, I mean, shit, good honey. I'll just eat it by the spoon, man. I don't need to put it in anything. It'd be nice to put it in coffee, but yeah, I don't want to spend 5 minutes. You know how lazy I am when it comes to coffee. In everything else. I just eat it by the spoon. Where was I? The straws, like the honey straws, like snap that. It's kind of like it's like adult pixie sticks. We don't need the sugar. There's enough sugar in honey, I think, right? Just, yeah. I'll eat it by the spoon. Bargain Boxer says, I've always wondered, is Rich Klein really your uncle? No, he's not. He's everybody's uncle. Uncle Rich is just a nickname. Rich says, at least the Cubs are doing okay in Chicago. The Bears, not so much. The Bears suck. Christian says, starting a collection of cards of coaches and managers. Anyone have lots of junk wax coaches and managers that they want to offload? I bet there are. Mark says, I have allergies. What helps me is flax seeds. Have them in my oatmeal in the mornings. Okay. I like it. Flax seed. I'll trade you Zach Wilson for Fields straight up. You know, that's a horse apiece. They both suck. They're both starting quarterbacks for like the worst teams, like bottom 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Sports card ripping teacher said the Broncos are favored by 3. That's how pathetic it is in Chicago. That's how pathetic it is at Hallis Hall. Papa George is rolling in his grave. John says, as a Rockies Broncos fan, oh, I'm sorry, because at least the Cubs are playoff pushing. The Rockies, they suck. Please forgive my lack of sympathy for anyone else's teams getting beat. Liverpool won at least. There you go. Rockies Broncos is about as bad as Mets and Jets. Like, at least Cubs and Bears, the Cubs are right now in a playoff spot, making a playoff push. The Bears, arguably the worst team in the NFL. Rockies are like the 3rd worst team in baseball. Who's ahead of who? I think the Royals and the A's are the only teams that are worse than the Rockies win-loss wise. The Broncos just gave up 70 points yesterday. So Rockies and Broncos, I think they have us all beat. They have the Bears and Cubs beat. They have the Jets and Mets beat. Kyle says, at least the Bears play the Broncos, and wouldn't it be funny if they tie? Wouldn't that be like 3-3? Lions Packers Thursday night. Let's go. Go Lions, man. Go frickin' Lions. Absolutely. Fields was at least decent last year. He was. He has regressed. Justin Fields has regressed. He's probably about an average for an NFL quarterback. I'd say below average, but like I think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, but like I said, among the worst 5 or 6 teams. Like he's just not because there's not 40 good starting quarterbacks in the NFL. There's like 20, maybe 25. And then there's guys that are like, well, we got to start Justin Fields. We got to start Zach Wilson because there's nobody else. The thing with a running QB is teams can just sit back and spy. They didn't run a single design QB run the first quarter. Yeah, I think, and they only did one in the first half, I think, yesterday. Sports card ripping teacher, lines moving 2.5. Someone put money on the Bears. 12 points in betting is already massive. I guess in the NFL. See, I don't bet. I never really bet on the NFL. So I'm not in tune with that. Jets host the Chiefs next week. Well, you can't do much worse than what the Bears did against them. Best part of the game is Taylor Swift may be at the game. There you go. Think she'll make 2 in a row. They'll probably be broken up. Taylor Swift, by the time kickoff comes between the Jets and Chiefs, Taylor Swift will already have a song about her breakup with Travis Kelce. Flawed Thinker says the 2 worst things about the NFL are Cowboys fans and games starting at 8:30 for the East Coast. You'd think with 10 million more people on the East Coast, the NFL would want that commercial revenue. Is it 8:30? I thought it was 7:30 East. I thought kickoff was 6:30 on Sunday night games. Is it 7:30? I thought it was 6:30. Or is that just when the pregame show starts? See, I don't watch Sunday night football. Even if the Bears are on, like I rarely watch Sunday night football. And I don't really watch Monday night football. And I don't watch Thursday night football unless the Bears are on. Thursday night at least is a night that if the Bears are playing, I'll have the game on. This past Thursday, I had a game on, but it wasn't the Thursday night game. It was like a week 2 rerun. Go, Thursday night football. Whoops. Good morning, couch people. Padres consistent 0-12 extra innings this year. Oh, that's frustrating. Card Hobbyist is here. Fins up. How about them Dolphins? 70 points. TD Sports Cards, good morning. Talking Tati says eBay sales were on fire this weekend in my store. Anyone else see heavy traffic sales? Let me see. I haven't looked at my numbers. I know I've got a lot to ship. Let's see where we at. Refresh. Saturday was great. Friday was good. Saturday was great. Sunday was below average. Below average on Sunday. And today's starting okay because I think my Tua sales came in overnight. So I think they're part of today's numbers. So today should be a good day. And I plan on putting I think I'm going to list. I have so much shipping to do. By the way, I bought another Goodwill pallet. I did get a Goodwill pallet. I don't think maybe I did mention this on Friday, but I did get a Goodwill pallet. I'm picking it up today. I think I bought it Wednesday, but I had my card show stuff and I'm like, I don't want to rearrange. So I brought all my card show stuff in yesterday. It's so much easier. And I wasn't parked in the garage is getting drywalled this week. So I wasn't even parked in the garage. And it like I unloaded 34-row boxes in no time because I can just walk it right downstairs, boom, into my room. So I wanted to clear it out because I bought another pallet. So not only did I buy a ton of shit this weekend, I got another pallet. So I am swimming in inventory. So I'll have a lot of new stuff this Saturday at the Madison Card Show. Scrolling at the bottom of your screen. And my eBay store will be stocked. I think I'm going to put Jackson Holiday singles up in my store today before I get buried in shipping the rest of the day. TD Sports Cards, I'm slowly becoming a Swiftie. You know what? I'll admit this. Because I'm a weak little man that doesn't change his oil. I kind of like Taylor Swift songs. Some of her early stuff I didn't like because it was too bubblegum pop. Well, it was kind of country at first. Taylor Swift was like big country star at first. Her first song was Tim McGraw. It was so long ago. I was working morning radio for a country station when I think she was like 14, 12. I don't know. She was young. She was a little girl when that song came out. Tim McGraw was her first single. But then as she transitioned into bubblegum pop, they're catchy. She's got some catchy tunes, man. I'm down with the Swifties. Yeah, I'll listen to some Taylor Swift. Heck yeah. Because I don't change my own oil. I listen to Taylor Swift and don't change my own oil. How about that? How about that, Angel Baby? Where you been? Where's he at? He's probably changing his oil because he's a man. David Arnold, what's up? Arndog in the house. BPC Spartans are 4-1. Heck yeah. I was reading somewhere in I don't know where it was at, but they had I think it was a Facebook thing, like projections, 8-man football projections, and they had both Bushnell and West Prairie in the projections after like week 4 playing like up north. Like I think they had Bushnell playing Milledgeville maybe in the playoffs, and then West Prairie playing like Freeport, Aquin. Are they 8-man? I don't know. But they had both Orangeville maybe. I'm like, hey, that's not far from where I'm at. An hour, little over an hour drive. Yeah, because Freeport, what's Freeport? Hour and 15? And Orangeville is closer than Freeport. Orangeville is probably an hour. Milledgeville's past Freeport, so Milledgeville's probably a little over, probably an hour and a half from where I'm at. Tiger727, what's up? Good morning. First show I've been able to make it in 2 weeks. Very cool. Joe Caprino says someone got a PCA autograph. Very cool. You know, PCA hasn't shut me out. I've actually got a couple PCA. I've got them twice, I think. Well, I know, maybe more times than that, but I know twice. He did sign a baseball for me after a spring training game a couple years ago, and he signed the card with his mom on it for me after a South Bend Cubs game last year. So he hasn't completely shut me out. Card Hobbyist, good morning. Interesting series between the Cubs and Braves. Yes, it is. My thought is the Cubs go 2-4 this week. I think they'll take one game out of each series, and is that going to be enough to hang on to a wild card spot? It's going to come down. It's going to come down to the last couple games for sure. Matty Ice says, would have never predicted the Colts would be leading the AFC South after 3 weeks. Football's a funny game. I mean, baseball is a funny game. Football is a funny game too. As an Eagles fan, I'm looking forward to a chance to beat the Bucks this afternoon. Dez, what's up? Oh, he's got the image with the lady flashing in the background. Love it. TD Sports Cards sales last week was great. Friday was very nice. Saturday was dead. Sunday was okay. Sold a Soto Prospect Chrome PSA 10 already this morning. So you had a great Friday, a great Saturday, and a slower Sunday. I would say Sunday was, again, I would say my Sunday was okay. It was slightly below average. Matty Ice says, yes, definitely, Patrick. I don't have much hope. We struggled getting out of the series with Colorado. Head scratcher from Baltimore. Who would have thought without Richardson? I noticed at my local card show this weekend, many of the dealers are a bit slow. Slow in what regard? I thought they had no chance. I guess that's why you pay the kickers. Card Hobbyist says the Braves rotation kind of in shambles at the moment. That's good news. That's good to hear. So you're saying there's a chance, I hope. If the Braves don't win the World Series this year, it's a failure. I don't think the Braves are going to win the World Series this year. I think it's going to come down to the Dodgers and Braves in the National League. I don't know. I don't follow the American League. So can I come right out and say the Braves aren't going to win the World Series? I guess I can't. I don't know, because I'll root for the Braves in the World Series. So that's I'm going to base my thought on, well, I want the Braves. If the Braves are in the World Series, I want them to win. And that means they're not going to win. If I'm rooting for them, like none of the teams I root for, minus 2016, ever win the World Series. Card Hobbyist says there is a chance. I like it. 300 to ship. I thought I had a good weekend with 100 sales. How long will it take you to ship them all? So right now I'm at about 350 items to ship transactions. Let's see. 338. So it'll take me, I mean, I won't get through all of them today because I've got to pick up the pallet. I'm going to list some stuff this morning, which that won't take me long at all. And then I'll do a lot of shipping. I'll probably ship 200 today. And then get the rest tomorrow. And then, I mean, it just keeps building. Like I'm never caught up. Shipping. Like some people like, oh, I couldn't do that. I'd never be caught up. Well, that's the point. The point is to never be caught up. Because if you get caught up, you're not making any sales. So like I could be at 0 and within 5 minutes I'm at 1 and then 2 and then 3. So I'm never caught up, nor do I ever want to be caught up because that means there's just not as much sales, and that's not what we want. I'd much rather be at 338 to ship than 12 or 0, 5, 100. Good morning, Shane. What's happening? George says, throw the honey and some oatmeal. That's what I eat for breakfast on some days. There you go. I could do that. A little honey and oatmeal. It was honey, some pink salt, MTC oil, and this calming pill that I had to crack open and put the powder in the coffee. Interesting. Brian's in the house. What's up? I got my coffee, listening to Bo, listing a few cars before work. Love it. Uncle is a term of respect to our elder. It's almost like Godfather. Uncle Rich, the Godfather. Uncle Rich is like the Godfather of the hobby. Good morning, Donald. He's running behind. I hate Mondays. I'm down with today. Like today, exciting. I've got new cards to play with. I'm going to pick up a pallet. I do have to mow the lawn. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I hope it rains today. Lawn's getting long. I want to sell some foreigners on NPB cards at 50 cents each. Get at me if you need any. There you go. Hit him up. Nobody should be favored in that Bears-Broncos game. I'm a Broncos fan, and that was the worst thing I have ever seen. 70. The Bears team is just bad. Probably end up 6-11. 6-11 is that's bold, man. That's optimistic. I'm thinking 3 wins. I'm thinking 3 and 14 again. Same record as last year. This is a bad team. And I thought they were going to be 11-6. 3 weeks ago, before the season started, I'm like, 11-6, division winners. And then I saw them play the Packers, and I'm like, ooh, this doesn't look like an 11-win team. But, hey, it's the first week of the season. Then they came out week 2. Oh, man, this team's pathetic. And then all the shit that happened this week, I'm like, okay. And then they shit the bed yesterday. It's like, okay, this is a number 1 overall pick territory team. When are you going to have Marshall on? Man, what's up with Marshall? Have you seen him lately? I haven't. I think the last time I hung out with Marshall, if anybody is, me and Arnie are the only people that probably know who Marshall is, unless you're from Mark Twitchell, you'll know Marshall. Maybe Donald knows Marshall. We had Marshall on my morning show. Quite the character. Rub the nub. Wait. He did a lot of karaoke. He was on our morning show and K100 morning show a lot with us. Last time I talked to him was when Arnie and I were going to Buffalo Wild Wings. When I think I was still living in Macomb. I had to have been living in Macomb. I was going to Buffalo Wild Wings. And he hung out with us. That was 10 years ago? Yeah, probably 10 years ago. Good old Marshall. Rub the nub. Brian says, I sold 4 cards and had offers for a few more. That is huge for me. There you go. Brian says, pallet season. Yeah. Just had a 15-card sale for $121 before 5:30 a.m. Nice start to a Monday. Yeah. Shane says, I'm not ashamed. Taylor Swift is the shit. There you go. Yes. Brian says, I did a parody of Teardrops on My Guitar called Teardrops on My Tuba. Won that year's Mr. QHS pageant because of it. I'm so cool. Dan says he's walking the expressway looking for tires to change. I listen to Taylor Swift as I watch someone change my oil. Talking Tati says PCA's mom looks like a chick I got working at my weed farm. She's a little crunchy granola. Yeah, she's a hippie. Kyle says Goodwill Pallet, more NASCAR. There you go. Mark says it pains me to say this, but the Phillies are getting hot again at the right time. Yeah, the Phillies are. Joe Trotto ran a similar promotion as you. 2 items, 30% off, 3 or more, 40%. Didn't sell even 1 card. Sold tons at full price. Gotta love eBay. There you go. You made some sales. Shane says, wow, it took me all the way till you read my comment that I wasn't on Dorky Angler. Guess I'm slower than those card show dealers this morning. There you go. Ah, yes. Dorky Angler. So Midwest premiere this past weekend. It was much slower traffic. Oof. Traffic was pretty brutal. The first Midwest premiere was lit. Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards said it was top 5 card shows of the year. That would have been what, last year, 2022. It's last October. This awesome show. The second one was this past May. I set up as a dealer at the May show. It was a Friday, Saturday that time in May. My Friday, I killed it. I had some prearranged deals already, so that helped. I would have been happy just not coming back on Saturday, but I'm like, man, if I did this on Friday, if I make half of this tomorrow, I made like 1/8 of what I did because traffic was super slow on the Saturday in May. And it was slow on Friday, but again, I had some regulars, I had some prearranged deals, so that helped. I was pretty optimistic with this one this past weekend, and it was just kind of dead. Very surprising. And I'm going to tell you, it's not the promoter. Like John and Mike do a phenomenal job. They're better promoters than I am. Like I am not a good card show promoter. I just like put it on YouTube, run some Facebook ads, pop it on Twitter. I mean, they're going to card shows, recruiting dealers. They like treat you like they treat dealers like kings. Like, hey, can I go get you a soda, a beer? They do. They're great. So it's not on them at all. It's just, I think with where we're at now in card shows, then I started saying this about a year. We're card showed out. Like all of a sudden, all of these card shows started popping up. And some people, and I've said, now I'm a little biased because I am a card show promoter. So you may be thinking, well, you say there's too many card shows because you're a card show promoter. And yeah, maybe, because it is a disservice when you're running, head to head, you're making dealers choose which show to set up at because there's only, finite number of dealers. But it's also the reason that too many shows is not a good thing. Is too many baseball cards a good thing? 1988 Donruss, 1991 Fleer, made a lot of them, junk wax era. Why are those cards not worth anything? Why does that era, why did most people think those cards suck? There were too many. And just because you have a good thing going and you start having a card show in every town, every weekend, it's not a good thing. Fortunately, we're past that. And the strong shows survived. And you still see the strong shows are still out there. The ones that didn't do their job maybe came on, not that they didn't do their job, but they maybe came on too late, timing petered out. I think the 2-day shows jumped the shark. It all started with, I think the booming of the multi-day show was Dallas, especially during COVID, because Texas was the only place you could have card shows. And all of a sudden, these multi-day shows blew up, and then it's like, oh, we're going. And there's a lot of dealers that would come to my show, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to Philadelphia next weekend, and I'm going to Nashville, and I'm going to Burbank. Seeing less and less of those guys that are jet setting. Ryan Nolan's one of them. He's not doing as many card shows. You know, you're not having that many. It's not like these multi-day shows are no longer destinations. A few are. Burbank is. Dallas is. Philly is. Nashville is. But a lot of these came on. The Midwest premiere, I think, is about a year too late. The first one was great, but it just came on a little too late. Had it started a year to build up that reputation, would have done, I think it would have stood the test. Just came on a little too late. So traffic was down. My sales were down. It was disappointing in sales. I did, after my table fee and my hotel, I did make money. I spent it all, but I spent it on inventory on, even though I made a profit over the 2 days, my best deals will be on eBay selling what I bought. Like that's where I'm going to make a lot of money, is on flipping what I picked up. So I want to get into that here in a moment. Let's see where we at. George says, speaking of Phillies, I introduced some students to Boy Meets World today since it's on Disney Plus. See, we have like every frickin' streaming channel except Disney Plus. But I wanted to watch Boy because I listened to Pod Meets World, the podcast, like regularly. They have 2 episodes each week. And I'm just like, oh, I go to YouTube, and the quality they have on YouTube, because it's somebody that has like an old VHS recording from 1995, and they uploaded it to YouTube, and the sound quality is brutal. So I wish I had Disney Plus so I could watch Boy Meets World. Anyway, Brian says, I accidentally closed out the window that had my eBay shipping label on it and didn't print. Now I can't reprint a label. I keep getting an error. Closed out the window that had my eBay shipping. You should be able to go back in. If you purchase the label, you can go back in. You have to go into, let's see. Go into your orders screen and then go to shipping labels. And then find, so orders, shipping labels, find it under actions. You can print another label. I don't understand, the wording sucks on these. It says reprint label, print another label. Isn't printing another label reprinting? Oh, wait, no. Printing another label probably means buying another label. So I think if you go to reprint label, you're reprinting the label. So orders, shipping labels, reprint label. Let's see. Max says, from a dealer's perspective, I really wanted to set up at that show, but it would have been 5 weekends in a row set up. Also, I understand why 2-day show, but I don't want to sink another 100 to a hotel. And that's the thing. And that's what I told Mike, one of the promoters of the Midwest premiere, is this venue rocks. It is freaking awesome. I would love to have like a 1-day show, 9 to 5, with a trade night after. And I know 9 to 5 is a long day, but I think it could maybe work. I think the problem if you do a trade night, and I think I didn't go to trade night, but I think if you do a trade night like a couple hours, I think just start the trade night. And who am I? I don't do trade night. But my thought process would be, if you're hosting a trade night, do it like as soon as the show ends. Like trade nights are mainly pretty organic. It's not like they're not organized. It's just like most trade nights, and I think most of the good ones, it's just like a place to do your thing. It's not like we're doing giveaways, we're doing this. I mean, you can do that, and I'm sure it could attract some people, but for the most part, I think maybe you do. It's like, yeah, trade night opens at, show closes at 5, come on up to trade night. And, it officially starts at 6:30. That gives you, if somebody wants to go, shower or whatever and come back, the official start time is 6:30. I think that would be cool. But I think a 1-day show, now, is it feasible? I don't think it's feasible because, the reason money works is because it's a 2-day show. You can charge more for tables. But I'd pay more for a one-day show at the Indoor Sports Center than I would at Janesville, Madison, Rockford, other shows, because it's a really nice venue. And the 2-day show, yeah, that hotel sucks. And it's like, it's only an hour drive for me, but do I want to come home and drive back? No. Like, and it's fun for me just as a little weekend getaway. I like work. This is my office. Like, I'm here all the time. So it's nice to get away for a night, a couple days, just to get away from work and every, just to get away and go back. And I was going to go to dinner with some of the guys, and I'm like, you know what? I bought a box of Allen and Ginter. I'm just going to go back to the hotel, have a couple beers, rip, watch a football game, go to bed, come back in the morning. But yeah, it's an added expense. Joe says, have you heard if Car Dealer Pro will be adding soccer anytime soon? I believe other sports will be added soon. I'm not going to give any timelines, because sometimes when timelines are given, even like I think it might be then, people like take it as gospel. Like, well, Bo said on September 25th, soccer was going to be in it. So I'm not going to say, but I think soon, yes. Soon is a subjective word, so I can say soon. I think soccer, Pokemon, wrestling, I think some of those products will be added to the database. Flawed Thinker says, how do you handle a buyer that pays for an item, you pack and print label, then the buyer says they have the wrong address? Is there a way to print another label without paying for it? Yeah, well, yes, and it's kind of frustrating. It's annoying. What you have to do is you have to void. You go back into your orders, shipping labels, find the transaction under actions, void label. So if you void the label, it's going to take like 30 days to get your money back, because they want to make sure you're not actually using it. So they've got to give you like a window of time so they know you're not going to use that printing, that shipping label. So you void label, you'll get refunded in PayPal or credit card, wherever you have your payments set up through eBay. Might even go through managed payments. I'm not sure. But if you void the label, after 30 days, you'll get a refund for that shipping. You can go back in and buy a new label and make sure the correct address is on. Brian says, I chose reprint label and I still get an error. Then I don't know. Hit up eBay help. Big Harv, what's up? Good morning. So all in all, and I say traffic was down, sales were down. Should I void the label, give me an error, and then purchase it? Yeah, do that. Traffic was down, sales were down, but that means more buying opportunities. And what have I preached about card shows, where you can't go in as a dealer and only be focused on making sales? Is sales important? Absolutely. Yes, that's why you're there, but it can't be the sole reason that makes or breaks a card show for you. And little soapbox, just to continue on, traffic was really down on Saturday. What was really frustrating was me watching other dealers pack up at like noon, 1 o'clock, and then not coming back, because, as another card show promoter, and I see that, and like there were some dealers that didn't even say, hey, I'm not coming back tomorrow. Even if they did, I'm be like, okay, I'll remember that. Because that kind of tells me what type of business person you are, especially if you're not going to give the courtesy of like, hey, really rough, I'm not going to come back. But if you don't even give that courtesy and just no show the next day, that to me is a no show. And we talk. And in these instances, I don't even have to talk. I see it with my own eyes. And then I ask, hey, what's going on over here? I don't know. Didn't show up. Okay. It's a no show. So unfortunately, there was few instances where that happened this weekend. And people are watching, right? So for me, I made money, right? I made money after my table fee, after my hotel, some travel expenses. I still made money, and I spent it all. And plus, I got some great deals, though. If you're not making sales, it's just like on eBay. If you're not making sales on eBay, you're not shipping. What can you do? List stuff that'll sell. If what you have in your eBay store is not selling, don't list more of it. That's insanity. Expecting different results, doing the same thing. If what you're listing, and I'm not just talking about, oh, I listed Allen and Ginter, Greg Maddux, and Sammy Sosa, blah, 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 blah. If you're listing a bunch of 91 Fleer and 90 tops, and all of a sudden you're at 60,000 listings you can't list anymore for free, don't try to list more of that crap. What's selling? Ellie De La Cruz, Jackson Holiday. If you don't have any of that, try to source it. You're not selling, you're not shipping. What should you be doing? Listing. If you're not selling at a card show, don't sit down and stare at your phone, because that's going to probably, customers are going to see that and be like, oh, I don't want to go there. Nobody's there. That guy's just sitting on his phone. And who am I to talk? I'm never at my table because I'm off buying. But use that time. Don't just sit down and scroll Twitter and Facebook. Go network. People say, and it kind of annoys me when people, I never get those deals. Well, find out why. Why are you not getting deals? These boxes behind me, which I'm going to share here in a moment. I never get those deals. Ask yourself why. Most of the time, sometimes they fall in my lap. Somebody come, like I talked at the beginning of the show, some guy like, hey, I don't want this stuff. Give me an offer. It's not stuff I want. Well, how about $100 for it all? Well, let me take a look. Oh, okay. Those kind of fall into my lap. Why do those fall into my lap? Because I have built connections. I have networked with people. I have done successful deals. Word spreads. Hey, that guy will buy your junk. And sometimes that guy's junk is treasure for me. And I can flick, oh, you only want $100? I can sell this for $5. Why are you not getting those deals? Ask yourself that. There's a reason. If I'm getting these deals, I'm not the only guy that's getting these deals. There's a whole bunch. There's other guys that were at the show this weekend. They were getting these deals. Why are you not getting the deals if you're complaining about not ever finding these deals? A, are you looking? B, do you talk to people? C, there is no C. It's all about networking. Build relationships. How many deals did I do? I did 5 different deals with dealers. 6. And I think all but 2, I think 4 of the 6 are people I've done deals with or have a previous relationship with. And the other 2, now I've established that. And moving forward, maybe they don't have something for me next time, but their buddy does. Like, oh, hey, that guy buys stuff. He'll buy your Bowman paper. That's how you do it. So if you're complaining about not finding deals, ask yourself why. What are you not doing? That's more important than what are you doing? We always, well, how do you get those deals? Ask yourself, why am I not getting those deals? What am I not doing? And there's your answer. So I got some good deals. So before I get back into the chat, did a lot of buying, did some great buys, did some more networking, talked to 3 or 4 dealers that I met for the first time this weekend, interested in setting up at the Madison Card Show. Max will be happy. A couple of them are Pokemon. So there you go, Max. Let's go into the chat. Shane says, is Card Dealer Pro worth it if you don't have a scanner that scans front and back? If I had to scan front, then flip and scan back, Wouldn't that count as 2 scans instead of 1? No. Car Dealer Pro will ask you if you want to scan front and back. So on the screen, let's see if I can bring it up. CarDealerPro.com. Hopefully it has my info. Oh, boom. Signed in. So we go to batches. My internet's slow this morning for some reason. But there's an option. We're going to do test. Oh, free. Baseball. Let's just share the screen, and that way you're not watching me type. Okay, Car Dealer Pro. Boom. Can you see that? Okay, so we're in the batches. So we're just going to name it test baseball. Price $2. Baseball. I've got my template. Create. Now, here the screen, add cards. How would you like to add cards to the batch? We want to upload card images. And so you have an option, front images only, front and back. So if you choose front and back, it's going to go in order. Let's see, do I have any photos? I don't. So it's going to go in order of your photos, and front and back is only going to count as 1 scan. So that's how you do it within Car Dealer Pro. Is Car Dealer Pro worth it if you don't have a scanner? I mean, a scanner is definitely going to help. Is it worth it? Depends it kind of depends what you're using it for. If you're wanting to upload 2023 Allen and Ginter on release day, no, probably not worth it, because it's not going to be in the database, or you're not using it for AI. You're not going to be scanning very fast, so it's not a speed thing. I would say no. If you want to list a bunch of 75 tops, yeah, probably, because that's going to do the AI. It's going to be 95% accurate on that stuff. So it all depends on what you're going to upload, whether or not it's going to be worth it or not. But I would recommend a feed scanner, and you can get a 70-30 for like $250, $300. You can get a 7160 for $300, $350. So I would recommend that, like, before investing in Car Dealer Pro is a pretty low investment. But I would say save up $300 and buy a feed scanner. Get a used 70-30. And if you don't have that money now, wait, set it aside. Put a budget for a feed scanner, $300. Once you get it, boom, invest that. Start on Car Dealer Pro, get the cheapest subscription. You use my promo code. Let's pop that on the screen. My promo code for Car Dealer Pro is Cubs, CUBS. You'll get 500 free scans on a paid subscription. So whatever that is on top of your paid subscription, boom. Max says, wait, there were people that packed up Saturday early and left. Yep. There were, let's see. I know there was at least 1, 2, 3. I think there were 3 that packed up early and didn't come back. And then there were at least a couple more that stayed most of the time, or the duration, and didn't come back the next day. Yeah, unfortunate. And I know who they are. So it's like, you wanted the Madison Card Show. It's like, well, I don't know. Can I trust you? 2 reasons you aren't getting the deals. 1, you're a douche. 2, you're too cheap. Sometimes that's can be the case. Volume accumulation says, preach it. People just love to bitch and complain. Yeah, woe is me. I never find that deal. Bruce, what's going on? Kind of like dating the pretty girls or home on Friday night because idiots are scared to ask her out. There you go. Sometimes you just got to ask. Shade says, and can you scan jersey cards with that Fujitsu? I would not. No. Or do you use something else for those? I use my camera, my phone for jerseys. And really, honestly, jersey cards don't sell. Jersey cards just don't sell. I put them in my dollar box. Sometimes I put them in my quarter box. Let's see. Bargain Boxer says, I'm trying to find pack odds on a card that I just bought. I believe it was from Prism Draft Picks. What is the website where I get the pack odds on a particular product? Check out Cardboard Connection. Actually, if you just Google the product, say if it's 2021 Prism Draft, just Google 2021 Prism Draft, and usually Cardboard Connection or Beckett is the first website that comes up, and that typically has, I would say Beckett. I know Beckett's really, Ryan Cracknell runs those, and he's really good at getting those odds. So I know for a fact Beckett. So type in the product 2021 Prism Draft or whatever the year is, and then go to the Beckett, because I know Beckett usually adds those to the article, the pack odds. Brian wants to know, does anyone in the chat use Sport Lots? Anyone know someone that uses Sport Lots? I do. Not really anymore, but I used to. I used to sell regularly on Sport Lots. Used to buy regularly on Sport Lots. I bought some cards from one of the guys who packed up early. Yep. And you might have bought more. He didn't pack up early. Those reasons were not describing you. They were describing the complaining dealer that doesn't get the deals. Oh, I know. I know exactly what you were saying. I know exactly what you were saying. The way you read it, it sounded like you took it like I was saying it about you. Oh, no. No, not at all. Not at all. Sorry. I did not mean to sound like that. I knew exactly where you were going. I knew exactly what you're talking about. Brian says, I remember when jersey cards first came out. I thought they were the coolest thing. I still enjoy pulling them. I'll build you a pile. I hate them with a fiery passion. So let's talk about the good deals I got. These were the best. So this was Saturday. So here's another perk of my sales were down, but I got good deals. And sometimes you got to set up as a dealer to get those early bird deals, because especially at a show like this where the doors don't open until 10, I got there early. I set up. It took me a while to set up because I thought I was really organized. And then once I unload everything, I'm not. So, but I got set up and I had a solid hour to walk around, and I bought from two dealers. And let's see. First guy I did two deals from. He set up at my show. Let's see. Was this? Okay, that was from that dealer, which I thought I had organized. I think as well, son of a bitch. Now I don't know which cards came from what dealer. So these, I know the holiday. Okay. I think all of those came from JR. So this is the dealer that set up at my show for the first time last month, and he had a bunch of Bowman, and I'm like, oh, sweet. So these are all Jackson holiday cards, and I think I got these oh man, I don't know. I think I put all my Jackson holidays together. So I think I got these from two different dealers. But I basically got these for about 40 cents a card. These will sell anywhere between, depending on the card, between $5 and $15. There may be a couple in there that might sell for 20. I think there's a first Bowman in there. See, and now I'm confusing and some of these I paid a little more for, but I pulled a bunch of Jackson Cheerios. This is an Adley Rushman refractor. More Cheerios, a bunch of like Cheerio inserts. I'm showing the Rushman still. Cheerio inserts from Bowman. A bunch of Bowman Chrome Cheerios. Adley. First Bowman Gunnar Henderson. First Bowman Adley Rushman. Those were all 50 cents. Actually 40, I think, after my deal. Pink Mike Trout. Another pink Mike Trout. Inserts. A bunch of Trout inserts, or a refractor of Mike Trout. Ohtani. Here was some Julio Rodriguez sepia refractor. That was 50 cents. Pink Julio, 50 cents. These were all like 50 cents. These were in the 50-cent box. Bowman's Best refractor. couple more. I think these are just the base. So those were all like 40 cents each, 40 to 50 cents. What else did I pull? These I got for $3 a pop. Caleb Killian rookie auto. I pulled some of these out of the 50-cent box, and I paid $3 for that one. That's a refractor. In Acuna, numbered to 299. A Churio Inception. I paid $3 a pop for these. A J-Rod, another refractor. William Bergola, first chrome sapphire. A couple of Drew Gilbert first chrome refractors. His base, like I've almost sold 200 of his base first Bowman, so I figured that was a good deal. Nick York, or Yorkie, first chrome sapphire. Another Drew Gilbert refractor. Chase DeLauder, first chrome sapphire. Jet Williams, another guy that I've been selling his first Bowman papers really well. I got 3 refractors in. I guess I got 4 or 5 of the Drew Gilberts. What else did I get? Oh, and then so I didn't even count. Like I don't count when I just get a pile and they're like, did you count them? No. He's like, if you get one more, because it's X amount for $3 each, he's like, you can get one more. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I got the Bowman Sterling Reggie Preciado gold out of 50. Obviously for my PC. These are just like Judge and Dominguez refractors. Again, like 40 cents a pop. What were these? Oh, these were cards that I got from, I think, JR. I think I paid $2 a pop for these. So an Aaron Judge, early Bowman, Lazaro Montez, Mega Box, Jefferson Rojas, Mega Box, Drew Jones, Churio, Ellie. I'm still moving Ellie De La Cruz. Like, I think I've sold most of my Ellie De La Cruz. They're still moving. So if I can get these for, $1, $2, I can flip them for probably $5. I think Jackson Churio is going to start taking off. So there's a refractor and then a spotlight. Here's a first Bowman paper. Another Jackson Holiday. The Invicta. Damn, I got a lot of Jackson Holidays this weekend. Grayson Rodriguez, rookie refractor. Cutter Coffee, first gold. I think that's gold. Yep, out of 50. Couple Ellie refractors. I've been selling these for about $10 a pop. A Churio Sky Blue. A whole bunch of Dominguez refractors. A Churio Ray Wave. Termar Johnson Ray Wave. Jordan Beck Ray Wave. Drew Gilbert. Couple Drew Gilbert Ray Waves. So that was before the show started on Saturday. And that's, so that's when you're a dealer, you get that. I could beat James because James had to wait in his car until 10 o'clock. Sorry, James. Hey, buy a table and you could get there early too. So that was my pre-show deal. So then JR, where I bought a lot of those Bowmans, he had some more stuff. And I was like cherry picking, and he's like, yeah, I dropped prices. These are like $1. So like the Judge, like 2018 Heritage, like mini thing. More Ellie De La Cruz. There were more Jackson Churios. So I'm like, for $1 a pop, heck yeah, I got more Jackson Holidays. So then he's like, yeah, I'm like dropping the price like crazy. So yeah, Jackson Churio, first chrome for $5 a pop. So I bought 5 of those. I bought 2 Ellie papers for $1 a piece. A couple of Adley Rushman rookie variations for $2. A first chrome holiday for $10. And then I bet I bought 100 Jackson Holiday cards this weekend. These are all the same card, Bowman Chrome. So I had pulled those, put those aside. I had seen on Saturday, I'd viewed some Elite Extra Edition Cubs autos, and they were like $2 or $3 on Saturday. And of course, I'm not going to ask for a discount before the doors even open. So I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to buy these. And it's the point, like, I'll come back Sunday. He'll probably have a discount on them. And if somebody buys them in the meantime, I don't care because I don't really care if I have them or not. So I pulled one aside. He goes, I'll sell you all of the Elite Extra Edition autos and relics for 25 cents a piece if you buy them all. And I'm like, all day. Yes, absolutely. And these are not, it's Elite Extra Edition. It's not like $20 autos, but between 5 and 10, probably between 3 and 5, I would say on average. There might be some that sell for as much as 10. But like all day long, I'll put these on eBay for, $5 a pop, and I'll be moving them for $3 to $5 all day. So that was an early deal on that was like first thing Sunday. It's super slow on Sunday morning. And so I got that. Then again, it was slow. So then I went to my buddy Matt. And he had somebody offer him like $260 for all of his bargain boxes. And so he turned it down because it was Saturday. And so he's like, I'd probably sell a box for he's like, I'm not going to sell it all for $260. I'd probably sell a box for $200. And so I didn't even look through the dollar boxes until I had a little bit of time, and I start digging through, and I'm like, there's a lot of color in here. There's a lot of first Bowmans. So I'm like, hey, would you do a box for $200? He's like, which one? I'm like, this one here. It's got all the color in it. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, we're talking like a ton of autos, a ton of rookie chrome autos. I saw this when I was just initially digging through, and I'm like, this looks like something. This is like a $10 card. Mike Piazza, Gold Team Select Certified Edition. And like the autos, like I just showed you, Zach Pop, it's a rookie pitcher auto. I'll list it for $5. If I get 3 for it, I'll be happy. Because this is probably Jay Gibbons auto from 2002, like just a ton of stuff. I didn't even see that. Oh, Francisco Cordero, like a ton of autos. Manny Machado Bowman Platinum from 2011. Joey Gallo Sapphire. Like I'm just randomly pulling cards out of here. Tim Anderson Sepia. So some of these will go in my quarter box. So what did I pay for this? This is stacked. It's a 5-row box, full, at least 3,000 cards in here. Paid $200. What's that? A nickel a card. A nickel a card. And, you've got Noelvi Marte, Aqua. This is numbered out of 125. I'm just randomly pulling out cards. Okay, this is a shitty card. That's the first shitty card that I've pulled. Okay, here's another quarter card. Oh, here. Let's look for some color. You don't want to find the shitty cards. Oh, here's nice little pocket of color. Kumar Rocker, numbered out of 299. Kumar Rocker, numbered out of 150. I paid a nickel a piece for these. Hans Kraus, numbered out of 25. Jake McCarthy, a bunch of Jake McCarthys, numbered out of 2022. Kettle Marte. These are numbered out of 399, 999, 500. So a bunch of Kettle Martes. Daniel Suzak, first Bowman, numbered out of 399. Ariel Almonte, numbered out of 150. An old A-Rod card. So how about that? A nickel a piece. Here's a jersey card. Curtis Terry, numbered out of 99. Alec Thomas, refractor rookie. There were a bunch of Jordan Lawler first Bowmans. Simon Muzziotti, first Bowman to 99. Pedro Pineda Mega Box. So paid a nickel a card for those. A hell of a deal. At some point this week, I'll start listing these. So that was what I thought was going to be. It's like, okay, that's all I'm going to buy. And then the deal I talked about at the beginning of the show for $100, which is going to, be, I'll pull a few cards and put on eBay, but most of it's just going to go into quarter boxes. And then the very last deal of the day. The very last deal of the day, I had, and I should have just gave them to Max. I had in the bulk lot that I bought a couple weeks ago from Steve. There was a shoebox filled with like Pokemon bulk. And I don't know. I did learn something about Pokemon this weekend, yesterday. So I had the shoebox of Pokemon, and whoever had them before Steve was trying to sell them in like these basically in team bags. There's like, I don't know, 25 to 50 cards per team bag. They were trying to sell them for $3 a pack. There's a whole shoebox full, 1,000 to 2,000 cards. And so I'm like, basically, I don't know anything about Pokemon, and I didn't really care to look. So I'm like, okay, if he was trying to sell these for $3 a pack, they're probably not worth $3, maybe $1 a pack. And there was like 100 packs. I'm like, I'll just put $80. And if somebody throws me an offer, I'll take it. Nobody threw me an offer. So I had this shoebox until the very end of the show on Sunday. And Ryan, who has a Pokemon booth, came up and he looked at one card. He goes, "This is fake." This was fascinating to me. See, this is why not only do I not understand Pokemon, I don't want to understand Pokemon. He goes, and so there were the packs that were part of the shoebox, but then there was like a few pages that were in like a previous Goodwill palette. So this was in a page out of a Goodwill palette, and it was shiny. And so, of course, like people looking for Pokemon are looking for the shiny. So he pulls it out and he goes, "Oh, this is fake." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh, so is it a big card?" He goes, "No, it's like a $3 card." And I'm like, "Why would you fake a $3 card?" And he didn't really know. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So at the end of the show, another guy came around. He's like, "Hey, I've got some like junk sports cards that I want to get rid of." He's a Pokemon guy. And so I'm like, "I've got this." I'm like, Sunday, I marked it down to $40 for the whole box. And I'm like, he's like, "Would you do a trade?" I'm like, "For sports cards, sure." So he walked over, and it was like junk, like it's junk. But I think what I had for Pokemon was junk too. So I'm like, it's a fair trade. Like some of the stuff I'll probably just, because there's like 89 Bowman, like I'll probably just throw away. But there was like a Babe Ruth tin that I can just throw those into my quarter box. Sometimes they sell on eBay. But for me, like that Pokemon was just like a throw in to the, for me, I just, that's a throw in. So like to trade it for, I'll pull the Cubs. I'll get a few Cubs, put a few cards in my quarter boxes. It's a win. So he was telling, I'm like, so I think this is a fake card. Somebody told me this is fake. I'm like, I don't know. But it's only worth like $3. Why would it be faked? And he goes, "Oh, well, for people building sets." I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Why? I don't get it. So he's like, "Well, you can tell if you rip it in half, there's like a black line if it's real." I'm like, "Okay, well, if you don't want it, I'll rip it in half. I don't give a shit." And so I ripped it in half. There's no black line. He goes, "It's a fake." I'm like, really? So we did the trade, and so he ripped some of the ones that were in the packs, and he ripped like 3 or 4 cards, and they were like legit. So he came over and he's like, "See, there's no black line, or there is black. Like you see, there's a black line. These are real." And I'm like, "That's fascinating. I don't understand it, and thank you for taking my Pokemon." So that was interesting. So we're 90 minutes long, 95 minutes long. So I got to get going so I can do some shipping. Where we at? Brian's going to ask me Sport Lots questions out of the chat. John says another UK show for me on Saturday in Liverpool. Need your soccer bargain box. Yeah. I'm going to have more soccer this weekend. Brian says, I'll take them. Maybe I can use the jersey cards for card art. I spoke to a dealer who made $10 at the Myrtle Beach show on Sunday. Sales are in the toilet for the most part. Mike Smith, your Bears got spanked last night. What happened? They suck. They're the worst team in the NFL. That's what happened. I use Sportlots auctions. I prefer Mercari, which I consider my dollar store. Less fees than eBay. Low Roller Scratcher, by the way, is Mike Smith. My monkey got spanked last night, LRS. Honey bunches of Cheerios. Mike says Broncos and Bears got spanks yesterday. Worst teams face each other. Yes, sir. Dollar Box in the house. What's up? We just talked about trying to get bulk auto deals well done. I've gotten some here and there, but a whole box at 25 cents each is solid. Yes. Max says, want to double your money in a week. I don't know what that's in regards to. Maybe. It just depends. Tracy says, first card show in forever was a blast. Spent 4 hours there. Spent every cent I had. Got some good deals. Love it. Love it. Craig says, is eBay cutting off entering used for the condition of bulk lots of cards from Card Dealer Pro? I think eBay hasn't made that change yet. They will, I think, effective in October. So effective in October, they will. And so Card Dealer Pro will just make the changes. Oh, no. Somebody asked me on Twitter, they're like, how much would you sell that box for? And I'm like, I won't, because I'm going to grind it out and put them on eBay. No way. No way. Sorry. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. CardDealerPro.com. Paid subscription. Use promo code CUBS, CUBS. You'll get 500 free scans upon your paid subscription. Don't forget this weekend, Saturday, is the Madison Card Show. It's at the Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. 125 dealer tables, free admission. Check that out this Saturday. And a lot of the cards that I just showed off will be in my eBay store this week. Check out 99-cent cards. Link also in the description. As always, when you buy 7 or more cards at regular price, you'll get 25% off at checkout. So check out my eBay store. With that, I'm out. Have a great Monday. Hit like, subscribe to the channel. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.